in India, especially for these kind of nefarious and unlawful activities. Yes, what's the latest coming in, Aishwarya?
Well, as you clearly pointed out, this is a very unfortunate incident where an entire family had to commit suicide, leading to pressure of conversion and because of severe pressure from the accused named Sadiq, where he very strategically, as the previous modus operandi were mentioned, he also befriended her son. And then understood the family dynamics, and then later even joined the son's school as a shooting coach, and that is how he befriended Saujanya as well. And when he learned about not a very friendly relationship that Saujanya has with her husband, and they have alleged marital problems, he swooped in and gave her his shoulder, and that is how they became close. And then when Saujanya realized that what is happening to her is a story of love jihad and not really a friend that is giving her shoulder, she immediately withdrew her friendship, and then she also complained to her husband, and that is when Sadiq actually became very violent and abusive, and he even went on to an extent to kill her husband, and then physically and mentally abused Saujanya, forced her to read Islam textbooks and even read Quran, and even forced her to convert, and even took away all her properties as well. Without no other option, in a very detailed, after writing a detailed 5-page suicide note, Saujanya and her parents, and along with her son, all of them jumped into the Godavari River, and that is how this entire case came to light. And yesterday is when the Andhra Pradesh police apprehended, on August 22nd, they had apprehended Sadiq in Meerut, and 6 SIT teams were formed to apprehend Sadiq. And in Meerut, he was apprehended, where he was produced in court in Meerut, and then through a transit bail, he also was brought to Kakinada, and here also he was taken into judicial custody as well. But here the larger question remains is the modus operandi, how vulnerable women who are not in a very good position, be it financially or be it in a marital area, they are targeted, and then they are forced to convert. And they first given a friendly shoulder, and then later this entire incident becomes an abusive relationship where they are forced to convert, and the love jihad angle has become even stronger with several of the BJP in Andhra Pradesh questioning why is the love jihad module being suppressed in this entire case, because that is the major part of this entire case, and that is the reason also why Sadiq had befriended.
Yes, Aishwarya, well, thank you for getting those details. I really have to thank all our reporters who are getting us the latest on this big conversion racket which has been busted and is coming to light, and we will of course get our viewers everything they need to know about this story. In fact, my colleague Ishan has been investigating the story in Delhi. Let's listen in to his conversation with a DU student and shocking revelations on the conversion racket. Let's listen in.
Sir, could you tell us how you were being targeted by these people and how they first approached you?
एक्चुअली में क्या होता है कि धीरे धीरे ये लोग हमें मिलते हैं, धीरे धीरे आर्ट फैकल्टी हो गया, जो कोई और यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हो गई, यूनिवर्सिटी के बाहर हमें मिलते हैं लोग, धीरे धीरे ये हमसे धीरे धीरे दोस्ती करते हैं, हमसे हमारी सिचुएशंस पूछते हैं कि क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, कोई बात नहीं बेटा हम हैं, हेल्प कर देंगे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, हमें हेल्प किया जाता है। उसके बाद में ये जैसे हमें कहीं बाहर ले गए, हमें जैसे हम कोई किसी अकेडमिक थोड़ी हेल्प की ज़रूरत है तो उसमें हमारी हेल्प करी, उसके बाद हमें लेके जाते हैं, हमें बुलाया जाता है सेट संडे को कि आप आइए, संडे को आइए हमारे घर पे प्रोग्राम है कोई, आप वहाँ आइए। संडे को जो प्रोग्राम होता है उसमें ये मोस्टली वो सारा क्रिश्चियनिटी से जुड़ा हुआ होता है, उसमें हमें लोग जो दूसरे लोग होते हैं और भी स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं, अकेले मैं जैसे हम नहीं होते हैं, अकेले और भी स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं जिनको धीरे धीरे चीज़ें जो धीरे धीरे क्रिश्चियन जो वो होते हैं धर्म और नियम से जुड़ी हुई चीज़ें फिल्में दिखाई जाती हैं, मूवीज़ दिखाई जाती हैं, लंच डिनर उस सब का होता है, फिर धीरे धीरे जो प्रार्थनाएं होती हैं वो करवाई जाती हैं। ऐसी पर्टिकुलर हर संडे को और हर उस पर लेके जाया जाता है, हर संडे हर धीरे धीरे एक एक संडे करके बुलाया जाता है, हर रविवार को इतवार को संडे को बुलाया, छुट्टी वाले दिन बुलाया जाता है, और उस तरीके से हमें धीरे धीरे उस क्रिश्चियनिटी के नियमों में ढाल लेता है। डायरेक्टली कोई नहीं बोलता कि आप क्रिश्चियन बन जाओ, बट लेकिन धीरे धीरे हमें टारगेट करते हैं, और फिर एक समय ऐसा आता है जब हमें प्रेशराइज करना शुरू कर देता है कि आप क्रिश्चियन बन जाइए। अब जब आपने समय गुजार लिया है, आपने देखा है कि क्रिश्चियन धर्म कितना अच्छा है और दूसरे धर्मों से कितनी अच्छा हमारी सुपेरिटी है और हम लोगों में कितना मतलब आपसी प्रेम है, आप सब लोग देख रहे हैं, और सारी मतलब सब हर चीज़ का जो हल है कि आप क्रिश्चियनिटी में कन्वर्ट हो जाइए। उसके बाद में हमें फिर से हमें जिनकी तरफ से हमें प्रेशराइज़ किया जाता है कि आप क्रिश्चियन बन जाइए। कुछ लोग प्रेशराइज होकर क्रिश्चियन बन जाते हैं, कुछ लोग नहीं बनते हैं।
तो ये बताइए, जो लोग नहीं बनते हैं क्या उनके खिलाफ भी कुछ काम किया जाता है?
उनके खिलाफ ये कुछ नहीं करते हैं। जो इनके साथ जो दूसरे लोग, जो दूसरे बच्चे जो कन्वर्ट हो चुके होते हैं ना, वो हमें प्रेशराइज करना शुरू कर देते हैं। हमारी हर वो प्रॉब्लम जो पहले से हमें प्रॉब्लम है, उसको ये हम क्रिश्चियनिटी से कन्वर्ट करना कोशिश कर देते हैं, कनेक्ट करना शुरू कर देते हैं कि आप क्रिश्चियन नहीं हो इसलिए आप सब प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहे हो।
तो क्या इन्होंने आपको किसी प्रकार का प्रलोभन दिया था, जैसे कि आपकी पीएचडी में एडमिशन में हेल्प करेंगे या कहीं और कुछ और मदद करेंगे, इस टाइप के भी कुछ प्रलोभन दिए थे?
ये हमें इस तरीके की मदद नहीं, ये हमें फाइनेंशियल हेल्प की प्रॉमिस करते हैं कि हम आपको फाइनेंशियली आपको हेल्प करेंगे, आपका एकेडमिक में आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम होगी हम उसमें आपकी सहायता करेंगे।
तो ये जिस घर पे लेके जाते हैं उस घर में क्या होता है, वहाँ पे उस घर का माहौल किस टाइप का होता है?
वहाँ पे माहौल इस तरीके का होता है, वहाँ पे कई सारे बच्चे स्टूडेंट्स और भी होते हैं हमारे साथ में।
क्या फॉरेनर्स भी वहाँ पे होते हैं?
हाँ, फॉरेनर्स होते हैं मोस्टली। जैसे कि अभी अगर हम किसी कोरियन के साथ जाते हैं तो वहाँ पे आपको मोस्टली कोरियन क्रिश्चियन आपको मिलेंगे देखने को, और अगर हम किसी अमेरिकन क्रिश्चियन के पास जाते हैं तो वहाँ पे आपको अमेरिकन क्रिश्चियंस मिलेंगे देखने को।
Taking a short break, viewers. Imran Khan's closest aide speaks exclusively to Republic, reveals the inside story from Pakistan's Adiala jail. Stand by for Republic Super Exclusive.
रंग 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 रंगीन रे, देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे, बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे। रंग 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 रंगीन रे, देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे। रंग रंग रंगीन रे, देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे। रंग रंग रंगीन रे, रंग बना रहे, बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
बेस्ट हरा बोर्ड दिखाना।
सबसे डिपेंडेबल सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
ट्रायल लूंगा।
श्योर।
वाटर रेजिस्टेंट
है, स्ट्रॉन्ग है, हाई डेंसिटी वुड फाइबर स्ट्रक्चर, एडवांस जर्मन एडहेसिव बॉन्डिंग, सॉलिड डिफेंस।
ट्रायल में पास।
सेंचुरी के 40 सालों का भरोसा, हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस। सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ,
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
And viewers, let's move ahead. CIA Director John Ratcliffe has made a rare, unannounced trip to Moscow as Washington and Moscow navigate strained ties and stall Ukraine peace efforts. While the details of his meetings remain undisclosed, the visit could signal a push for de-escalation. Take a look.
CIA Director John Ratcliffe has made an unannounced trip to Moscow for talks with Russian officials. The visit is Ratcliffe's first known trip to Russia as CIA chief under Donald Trump. Neither Washington nor Moscow has confirmed who Ratcliffe met or what was discussed. A US C-17 military transport plane was tracked landing at Moscow's Vnukovo airport before returning to Latvian capital Riga. The surprise visit comes as US-led efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine war remain stalled. US officials reportedly asked Ukraine to halt drone and missile strikes on Russian cities around the time of Ratcliffe's visit. Experts say the talks could focus on de-escalation, Ukraine peace efforts, or the release of US detainees held in Russia.
Viewers, much more coming right up. A big Operation Sindoor revelation is out. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan. Stay tuned.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Electricity bill paid.
Really?
Your mobile recharge is done.
How?
Make all kinds of payments using the Bheem Payments app and get cashback of up to ₹300 every month. Use Bheem app to pay.
It's the Mahi way.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level. The numbers tell a brutal story. Since the war began, rice prices have reportedly risen by around 60%. Beef prices are more than 150% higher. And the International Monetary Fund is forecasting that Iran's economy could shrink by more than 5%. Imagine what it means for an ordinary family. Every trip to the market costs more.
Viewers, join us as we celebrate a voice that has given Indian music some of its most unforgettable moments. From soulful melodies to high-energy anthems, Shankar Mahadevan has consistently pushed the boundaries of Indian music while still staying rooted in its soul. A singer, composer and performer whose voice can move from classical brilliance to contemporary magic, Shankar Mahadevan has created music that generations continue to connect with. And now we celebrate the legend, the voice and the incredible journey of Shankar Mahadevan. Catch the special tribute today only on Republic TV. Big Republic expose on pan-India conversion networks, proselytization drive and secret conversions caught red-handed on camera. Republic exposes foreign-based conversion rackets, and the big question is there an urgent need to bring the FCRA bill to stop foreign religious funding? On Republic, videos of how those vulnerable are brainwashed and forced to convert. Reports from Rajasthan, Delhi, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh.
We had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha. And Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha. And it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit one of those hills.
Big Operation Sindoor revelations. Former CDF General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan.
Couple of principles which we thought in this escalation matrix, which laid for ourselves, was that the last strike or the winning note will be always delivered by us and not by the Pakistanis.
Former CDS General Anil Chauhan says last strike or winning note will only be delivered by India and not Pakistan. Now, viewers, former Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan raised a serious strategic concern over the emerging defence alignment involving Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey. Now, during the Vimarsh program organized at the Vivekananda International Foundation, he categorically stated that unless Mecca Pact explicitly states that it is not against India, it must be assumed that it is against India. Now, this is former CDS Anil Chauhan flagging the Mecca Pact. Now, the Mecca Pact, as you all know, is between Pakistan, Turkey and Saudi Arabia. Now, he's clearly stated that unless it clearly states that it is, until it clearly states that it is not aimed at India, we have to assume that it is from India. It is against India. Now this is regarding. Now let us first tell you, viewers, what the Mecca Pact is. It's being perceived as an Islamic nexus in the West Asian region, as the major Islamic countries. We're talking about Saudi Arabia here, we're talking about Pakistan, and we're talking about Turkey have come together. Now the pact states that attack on one means attack on all. So viewers, this is just like the NATO formation that we have, where okay, we've got Ishan also joining us live on Cam 3 for this. Ishan, clearly we're talking about the Mecca Pact here, and former CDS General Anil Chauhan has stated that we should assume it is against India. Now, what is the relevance here, considering two of these three countries who are participants of the Mecca Pact, Pakistan and Turkey, clearly Pakistan obviously is anti-India, and Turkey has also made statements which have been anti-Kashmir. Ishan, we'll first listen into what former CDS General Anil Chauhan has said, and then get back to you on what this means for India.
Pakistan has always been seeking security in pacts and alliances. And right after this particular conflict, he was trying to secure national security by some more accords and alliances. First, he tried this SMDA, Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement, with Saudi Arabia on 17th of September 2025. And now, of course, is this Mecca Accord, which they declared on 7th of August, in which the only statement which they said that it's for mutual deterrence, for strengthening deterrence, and attack on any one country would be considered as an attack on either of the. So I think that has got major security implications for India. Unless the pact says that it is not against India, we must assume that it is against India. And we should, the warfare, I said, is changing. So this pact may not allow joint application of force through land, which we conventionally think. A new kind of front, because geographically they are separated. But warfare today is not happening only on land. So it's a maritime, airspace, cyber, space, electromagnetic spectrum. They still can be joined. So there's a new kind of a threat, and we'll have to, factor this in our future strategies.
All right, Ishan is joining us live on this. Ishan, now how significant is this? What does it mean for India, given that two of the three countries here, Pakistan obviously is a known adversary, but you've got Turkey, who's also made a lot of anti-Kashmir statements for India, and it's been a defense supplier for Pakistan. Now, the important part also where I want to get you in is that they've stated that it should not just limit to three countries, but in future they want to expand it to other countries as well. Now, given its doctrine that attack on one means attack on all, what does it mean for India tomorrow if there's a conflict between India and Pakistan?
Absolutely. This agreement builds on an existing bilateral defense agreement between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Saudi Arabia has been providing Pakistan with funding for a very long time, and Turkey has been providing Pakistan with a lot of munitions and technology, and even access to higher-end technology such as its Shahid drone. So the drone technology that was provided by Turkey has been used by Pakistan during Operation Sindhu. So this agreement, although they may say it's a purely defensive agreement, but definitely has a mutual defense pact clause, which is similar to Article 5 of the NATO agreement, that an attack on one will be considered an attack on all three of them. So this is a similar principle to Article 5, so therefore it becomes a very significant part of this agreement. And the idea of expanding this to more Islamic nations in the region definitely shows how they are basically building on the idea of Ummah, or an international collective of Muslim countries coming together to form a singular bloc. And this definitely threatens the security of India, because this is somehow can be seen as an expansionist agreement, because both Turkey, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have conflicts with their neighbors regarding territory, and all three of them are now coming together, pooling their resources. Saudi Arabia with its finances, Turkey with its access to Western technology, Pakistan with a large standing army. So this entire thing becomes a very potent military pact. So this is something that India will have to take into account, and will definitely have to ensure that there is an appropriate counterweight to this, because this is something that will be needed to be accounted for whenever something like Operation Sindoor happens in the future.
All right, Ishan, certainly I think very rightly pointed out by you, gives Pakistan access to now Saudi Arabia funding and Turkey's defense technology. So we'll need to see what it means for India, because tomorrow Pakistan could go and in fact invoke Article 5, and India needs to draw a red line there. All right, viewers, moving on to our next story now. In connection with TMC MP and Lok Sabha leader Abhishek Banerjee's petition seeking the disqualification of 20 rebel party MPs under the anti-defection law for allegedly merging with the lesser known Nationalist Citizens Party of India, NCPI, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has issued separate notices to the rebel MPs. Now, the notices issued around the time of related Supreme Court proceedings on Banerjee's plea seeking an expeditious decision call upon the MPs to submit their responses within 7 days of receipt. Now, this is following action from Abhishek Banerjee, who's obviously the Trinamool Congress MP and is the nephew of former Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, following his plea to Supreme Court asking for disqualification of the rebel MPs, 20 in number specifically, that had actually defected or that had actually moved to NCPI. Now, following that, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has issued separate notices to the rebel MPs. Now, the notices have actually just around the time when Supreme Court's proceedings on Banerjee's plea, seeking an expeditious decision on this. All right, moving on to our next story, viewers. Monsoon misery, as monsoon misery hits India's Millennium City once again. Gurgaon, or Gurugram as it is now called, home to about Fortune 500 giants, faces urban paralysis every monsoon. Now, heavy downpours turn its modern multi-lane underpasses into waterlogged concrete bowls, trapping vehicles and bringing the city to a complete standstill. Now, to ease the gridlock, the District Disaster Management Authority is forced to issue emergency work-from-home advisories, both for corporate tech parks as well as other companies. And the reason? Rapid, unchecked urban development. About 60% of the city is sealed with non-porous concrete, and nearly 400 natural water bodies and Aravali drainage channels have been choked or built over. Take a look at this report about Gurgaon.
It is an absolute shame that all of us who live in Gurgaon live in the most pitiable state. We live in a state of absolute miserableness. There are floods every monsoon, and every monsoon promises are made by every government, by every municipal official, that, oh, things will be sorted. It doesn't happen.
Welcome to Gurugram, India's Millennium City. It is home to Fortune 500 giants and tech parks. But every monsoon, the glossy image dissolves. One heavy spell of rain turns this global corporate hub into a waterlogged nightmare. Modern multi-lane underpasses meant to speed up travel start acting as massive concrete bowls that trap water and paralyze traffic for hours. School buses get stuck and the city's mobility network completely stalls. The gridlock gets so severe that authorities have to step in. The District Disaster Management Authority frequently issues urgent advisories, directing tech parks and corporate offices to switch to mandatory work-from-home protocols. This is a desperate measure just to clear vehicles off the flooded streets. Why does it flood so easily? The mechanics are simple. Rapid development blanketed the city in concrete. Today, roughly 60% of Gurugram is covered by impervious surfaces, preventing rain from soaking into the ground. Worse, unregulated construction built directly over or choked nearly 400 natural lakes, ponds, and drainage pathways that historically carried water safely away from the Aravalli hills. The issue is not a lack of money, but how it is managed. For the 2026-27 financial year, the Municipal Corporation of Gurugram approved a budget estimate of 1,875 crore rupees. Around 400 crore is earmarked for core capital works. Yet, sanitation and waste management funding was actually slashed by nearly 20% to 250 crore due to low past utilization. Meanwhile, homeowners pay the price. Residents inside these gated communities must pay high maintenance fees just to run emergency diesel pumping systems and private water delivery.
It is an absolute shame that all of us who live in Gurgaon live in the most pitiable state. We live in a state of absolute miserableness. There are floods every monsoon, and every monsoon promises are made by every government, by every municipal official, that, oh, things will be sorted. It doesn't happen. Every year people are dying because they're electrocuted in flooded waters. Traffic has come to a standstill. This is Gurugram, supposed to be the smart city. Do we not have solutions? People are living in the worst conditions imaginable. You have floods every year with even minimal rain. You have no municipal officers available. You have no corporation officials available. You have traffic which is in the worst possible state. And this repeats itself year after year. I would urge each one of you to go around Gurugram, go around places even in Delhi, and see for yourself the garbage that is piled up. People say, I'm angry. I'm not angry. I'm now at a stage of total indifference because the apathy is galling. What is worse is that we as citizens raise these issues. No one cares. It's as if you can keep shouting from the rooftops, we don't give a damn. My issue is, why should it take some of our brightest engineers so long to fix drainage and sewage? The reason is threefold. Number one, rampant corruption in granting building licenses. People are building high-rises where there is no parking, no water, no drainage systems, no sewage systems. Number two, they are being given licenses at will. It depends on which politician you know or which bureaucrat you know and you can fix. Number three, there is no accountability. Where are the courts of law? Today we have a situation where even if you take these matters legally, no one cares. So you are actually living in zombie land. It's like the Wild West. It is an absolute shame. Can you imagine what must go through the minds of people who have their companies in India and they're in America or in Europe when their people say, sorry, we couldn't get to work today because our cities are flooded? What is this? What kind of brand India are we building?
Viewers, we've got a very breaking news coming in. Sources have told Republic that Karnataka Minister B. Nagendra has offered to step down. Now, the Chief Minister and the party high command are yet to take a call on his resignation. More details are awaited, but it's a very big news coming in from Karnataka here. Now, B. Nagendra, remember, is back in the Karnataka cabinet, and this is why it's become a major political controversy. Now, viewers, Nagendra was earlier Karnataka's Minister for Scheduled Tribes, Welfare, Youth Services and Sports, and he was politically linked to the Karnataka Maharishi Valmiki Scheduled Tribes Development Corporation. In 2024, the corporation was embroiled in a major alleged financial irregularities case involving funds meant for scheduled tribes welfare. Now, Nagendra was resigned as minister on 6th of June 2024 amid the controversy. We've got Abhishek also joining live on this. Abhishek, now obviously we are awaiting more details, but tell us more on this. We hear that B. Nagendra has offered to resign, is it? And what is this a result of? Should one say that the pressure built by the BJP and the opposition here with their long march to Vidhan Sabha on this is actually working? And what do you hear from Karnataka Congress?
Well, at this point of time, it doesn't seem like Nagendra is willing to resign because the BJP and the JDS MLAs had demanded in the assembly and in the council that he immediately resigns from his position because several cases are pending against him and the case is still underway and he hasn't been proved as a non-guilty person or is free from the charges which are against him. DK Shivkumar, the Chief Minister, is set to visit Delhi tomorrow and there might be discussions of B. Nagendra continuing in the cabinet of DK Shivkumar. There is also a severe allegation that the High Command has taken a gift from Nagendra to offer him a minister position despite knowing that he is involved in the scam of looting 187 crores which had been diverted to at least more than 600 various other bank accounts which weren't related to any of the persons in Karnataka, and this money obviously was utilized for various other elections and this was also funded towards the AICC is what the allegation of BJP and JDS was. When Siddaramaiah was the Chief Minister, he himself in the Assembly had mentioned it wasn't a scam of 187 crores, but around 87 to 89 crores had been misdirected to some other account, and he, at that point of time, had taken the resignation of Nagendra owing the moral responsibility, and after which Nagendra had been under the prejudice of the law and he was sent to jail as well, after which when DK Shivkumar got into the seat of Chief Minister, the newly elected cabinet, the newly selected cabinet involves B. Nagendra, who still has an allegation ongoing against him. So we will have to see how Nagendra responds to this, because Nagendra, while he addressed the press in a conference, he very clearly mentioned that he resigned from his position, he went to the jail, he faced the law, and at this point of time when the High Command got to know that he is a clean person and nothing like the allegation, that is why High Command took him into consideration of appointing him as a minister. The only thing left in front of him is to go hang himself as per the demands of BJP and JDS. These are the words uttered by Nagendra while he addressed the press conference. But at this point of time, despite BJP and JDS mounting pressure on the ruling party, which is Congress, it doesn't seem like Nagendra is going to resign anytime soon, and it is only because it will be only the High Command who will be a deciding factor if Nagendra should resign or continue in the same position.
All right, viewers, the controversy regarding B. Nagendra's alleged resignation continues. Now remember, he had actually resigned. He had actually resigned back in June 4, 2024. Now, of course, he's been reinstated in the Karnataka cabinet. The controversy obviously stems from the fact of his reinstation at a point when the CBI has actually filed a charge sheet against him. He's been named in the charge sheet. The prosecution sanction is being sought. Yes, he's not been convicted, but the BJP and the JDU specifically, which are in opposition in Karnataka, are coming up with charges or, coming up with objections to the fact that when he'd already resigned, why is he now being reinstated? All right, viewers, moving on to our next story. China and India are signaling a more constructive phase in ties, with both sides stressing strategic dialogue, cooperation, and border stability. Now, while the boundary issue remains unresolved, Beijing and New Delhi are pushing for a stable, predictable relationship, and that's what Wang Yi calls the dance of the dragon and the elephant. Now, the dragon here, of course, is China, and the elephant being referred to is India.
China calls for a strategic long-term approach to ties with India. In a recent meeting with National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi says China and India are partners, not rivals. Beijing states it wants stronger communication, trust, and cooperation. China says the border issue must not derail bilateral ties. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval also reiterated the positive note on bilateral relations. Doval says India wants a stable, predictable relationship with China. He emphasized that India is ready to expand cooperation and work towards resolving the boundary issue. Wang Yi says both sides should work towards the quote-unquote dance of the dragon and the elephant, describing the relationship and potential cooperation between China and India.
All right, viewers, time to take a very short break, but don't go anywhere. We've got lots more coming up for you on the other side on Republic. Coming up, Imran Khan's closest aide speaks exclusively to Republic, reveals the inside story from Pakistan Adiala jail. Stand by for the Republic super exclusive.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट
क्या बात है स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट
ايش عملتي ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي
Now, viewers, CIA Director John Ratcliffe has made a rare unannounced trip to Moscow as Washington and Moscow navigate strained ties and stall Ukrainian peace efforts. Now, while the details of his meetings remain undisclosed, the visit could signal a push for de-escalation, renewed diplomatic engagement, or discussions on US detainees held in Russia. Have a look.
CIA Director John Ratcliffe has made an unannounced trip to Moscow for talks with Russian officials. The visit is Ratcliffe's first known trip to Russia as CIA chief under Donald Trump. Neither Washington nor Moscow has confirmed who Ratcliffe met or what was discussed. A US C-17 military transport plane was tracked landing at Moscow's Vnukovo airport before returning to Latvian capital Riga. The surprise visit comes as US-led efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine war remain stalled. US officials reportedly asked Ukraine to halt drone and missile strikes on Russian cities around the time of Ratcliffe's visit. Experts say the talks could focus on de-escalation, Ukraine peace efforts, or the release of US detainees held in Russia.
बेस्ट हरा बोर्ड दिखाना।
सबसे डिपेंडेबल सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
ट्रायल लूंगा।
श्योर।
वाटर रेजिस्टेंट
है,
स्ट्रॉन्ग
है, हाई डेंसिटी वुड फाइबर स्ट्रक्चर, एडवांस जर्मन एडहेसिव बॉन्डिंग, सॉलिड डिफेंस।
ट्रायल में पास।
सेंचुरी के 40 सालों का भरोसा, हरे बोर्ड का असली बॉस। सेंचुरी HDF प्रीमियम प्लस।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Good morning, viewers. Join us as we celebrate a voice that has given Indian music some of its most unforgettable moments, from soulful melodies to high-energy anthems. Shankar Mahadevan has consistently pushed the boundaries of Indian music while staying rooted in its soul. A singer, a composer, and performer whose voice can move from classical brilliance to contemporary magic. Shankar Mahadevan has created music that generations continue to connect with, and now we celebrate the legend, the voice, and the incredible journey of Shankar Mahadevan. Catch the special tribute only on Republic TV. It's time for the headlines. Big Republic exposé on Pan-India Conversion Network. Conversion drive and secret conversations caught red-handed on camera. Republic exposes foreign-based conversion racket, and the big question is, there is an urgent need to bring the FCRA bill to stop foreign religious funding. On Republic, videos of how those vulnerable are brainwashed and forced to convert, reports from Rajasthan, Delhi, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh.
We had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha, and Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in and around Sargodha, and it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit, one of those hills.
Big Operation Sindoor revelations. Former CDA General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking the Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan.
Couple of principles which we thought in this escalation matrix, which laid for ourselves, was that the last strike or the winning note will be always delivered by us and not by the Pakistanis.
Former CDS General Anil Chauhan says last strike or winning note will only be delivered by India, not by Pakistan. And Imran Khan's closest aide speaks exclusively to Republic, reveals the inside story from Pakistan's Adiala jail. Stand by for Republic. Super exclusive. Viewers, the biggest exclusive on Republic from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail. Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV. PTI chairman Barrister Goswami Khan, in his first ever interview to international media, is live and exclusive, and he has spoken to us short while back. Imran Khan has been lodged in Adiala jail for over 2 years now, facing more than 150 cases. His party has alleged a political witch hunt and a complete denial of justice, with repeated claims about his worsening health and confinement. What is Imran Khan's real health condition? What is the PTI's next big strategy? Hear it straight from the man closest to Imran Khan, Barrister Goswami Khan. Let's listen in.
सर ये बताइएगा कि जो हुकूमत के खिलाफ पीटीआई की तरफ से दायर करदा जो तौहीन अदालत है उसका क्या स्टेटस है सर इस वक्त?
देखो, हमने एक पिटीशन फाइल कर दी थी सैटरडे वाले दिन, और हम अदालत से यही दरख्वास्त कर रहे हैं कि 18 तारीख को जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर किया था और उसमें खान साहब को शिफा इंटरनेशनल हॉस्पिटल शिफ्ट होना था, उसमें एक बोर्ड बनना था मेडिकल, जिसमें खान साहब की बहन और खान साहब के ज़ाती मुआलिज शामिल होना था। वो चूँकि लेटर इन स्पिरिट में इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ, उस हॉस्पिटल में नहीं ले जाया गया और वो टेस्ट नहीं हुए जिसका सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर किया, लिहाजा हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट से इस्तदा की है कि इस आर्डर को इम्प्लीमेंट करो। उस आर्डर की इम्प्लीमेंटेशन अभी बाकी है, लेकिन जो एप्लीकेशन हमने फ़ाइल की है उसमें पहले ऑब्जेक्शन लगा हुआ था, ऑब्जेक्शन के बाद हमने उसको रीफाइल कर दिया और अब उसको नंबर अलॉट हुआ है। हमें उम्मीद है इंशाल्लाह ताला कि जुमेरात को या जितनी भी जल्द हो सके सुप्रीम कोर्ट इंशाल्लाह उसकी समाअत करे।
मतलब आप क्या समझते हैं कब तक, अगले हफ्ते तक ये जा सकती है?
देखो, हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट से रिक्वेस्ट की है, उस पर एक नोट ज़रूर पुटअप हुआ होगा और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये कहा है कि जितनी जल्द समाअत हो सकती हो हम करेंगे और बेंच की अवेलेबिलिटी भी देखेंगे और बेंच की अवेलेबिलिटी को देख करके इंशाल्लाह वो जल्द फैसला करेंगे।
सर ये बताइएगा, आज आपने जो तौहीन अदालत डाली थी उसके ऊपर एतराज़ात लगे, फिर वो तौहीन अदालत दोबारा आप लोगों ने फाइल कर दी और उसको डायरी नंबर भी अलॉट कर दिया गया है। अब कल जो है वो परसों पीटीआई ने कहा है जुमेरात वाले दिन फिर आईएलएफ के वकला जाएंगे सुप्रीम कोर्ट के बाहर, फिर कोई धरना होगा या वो जो आप लोग अलामती प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं वो होगा?
नहीं, देखो, धरना भी नहीं, अलामती प्रोटेस्ट भी नहीं। हमने ये कहा था कि इसको नंबर अलॉट करके इस पे नोट पुटअप कर दिए, नंबर अलॉट हो गया, नोट पुटअप हुआ होगा। अभी चीफ जस्टिस साहब को रूटीन में यही होता है कि दफ्तर नंबर अलॉट करता है, रजिस्ट्रार साहब एक नोट पुट करता है, चीफ जस्टिस को बताता है कि इसमें अर्जेंसी क्या है। हमने कहा है कि ये हेल्थ रिलेटेड मैटर है और इसके हेल्थ को शदीद ख़तरात लाहिक है और डॉक्टर का होना, डॉक्टर का टेस्ट इंटरव्यू वगैरह होना बड़ा ज़रूरी है। लिहाजा सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है कि हम उसकी हेयरिंग करेंगे। अगर थर्सडे को बेंच अवेलेबल हुआ, जो हमने रिक्वेस्ट की है, क्योंकि जज साहिबान पाकिस्तान में मौजूद है और अगर वो पाकिस्तान में है तो जूम से भी हेयरिंग हो सकती है, एक मीटिंग कॉल की जा सकती है। लिहाजा थर्सडे को मीटिंग हो जाएगी, नहीं है तो शायद जुमे को हो जाए।
सर ये बताइएगा, जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान का फैसला था उसके ऊपर हुकूमत ने मनो अमल क्यों नहीं किया, क्या वजूहात उन्होंने पेश की हैं?
देखो, हमें तो कुछ नहीं बताया गया कि क्या वजूहात है, लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर पे मन ऑन लेटर इन स्पिरिट अमल होना चाहिए था, हॉस्पिटल में शिफ्ट होना चाहिए था। वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर में कोई अभाम नहीं था। अगर अभाम होता तो रिव्यू फाइल की जा सकती थी, उसमें कोई अभाम नहीं था। मैटर बड़ा सिंपल था, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने लिखा था, हुकूमत ने रिव्यू फाइल भी किया, फिर वापस ले लिया, फिर उसको ऑर्डर इम्प्लीमेंट करने की तरफ बढ़े भी, लेकिन ऑल ऑफ अ सडन मिडवे जो है वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हो सका, जो बड़ा अनफॉर्चुनेट।
सर इस वक्त जो है पाकिस्तान तहरीक इंसाफ की जो लॉयर्स की टीम है उसके ऊपर पूरे पाकिस्तान की नज़रें हैं। आने वाले दिनों में आप क्या समझते हैं, जो आपके चाहने वाले हैं या जो पाकिस्तान में इमरान खान साहब के चाहने वाले हैं, उनको क्या तवक्को करनी चाहिए कि खान साहब जो है दोबारा शिफा इंटरनेशनल जाएंगे?
देखिए, हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कानून के मुताबिक, इनके मुताबिक हम जा रहे हैं, हर फोरम में गए हैं। हम 25 मरतबा सुप्रीम हाई कोर्ट चले गए और अभी आज के जिस वक्त मैं गया मैंने बोला भी है तो 19 मरतबा हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए और एवरी टाइम जब हम जाते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट को तो हम उनको ये कह रहे हैं कि आइन कानून के मुताबिक ये हमारा राइट है, एसओपी के मुताबिक हमारा राइट है। हम कोई गुरेला फोर्स तो नहीं है कि बाहर निकल के आए, आओ जी खान साहब को उठाएं और हॉस्पिटल चले जाएं, बल्कि हम कहते हैं नहीं, अदालत ऑर्डर करे और अदालत का जो प्रोसीजर है वो ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ फॉलो हो और इस तरीके से हम आगे बढ़े। तो वकला से जो लोगों की तवक्कुआत बजा है और वकला अपना काम कर रहे हैं, एप्लीकेशनें फ़ाइल की हुई हैं, अब ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे मुनसर है और मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट से इस्तदा करूँगा कि ये आपकी ऑर्डर की इम्प्लीमेंटेशन बड़ा ज़रूरी है। आज़ाद अदलिया का होना बड़ा ज़रूरी है, लेकिन जो भी अदलिया इस वक्त मौजूद है अपना ऑर्डर इम्प्लीमेंट करना सुप्रीम कोर्ट की आईनी जिम्मेदारी है। मुझे उम्मीद है सुप्रीम कोर्ट इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करवाएगी इंशाल्लाह।
ये आप समझते हैं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो है वो जो उन्होंने ऑर्डर दिया था और आपको उसके ऊपर कोई एतराज़ तो नहीं है, या आपको कोई अभी कोई सवाल हो या सुप्रीम कोर्ट के हवाले से जजेस?
नहीं, हम ये कहते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो आपने ऑर्डर किया उस ऑर्डर को इम्प्लीमेंट करो। ऑर्डर सिंपल है, खान साहब को हॉस्पिटल ले जाए, उसके टेस्ट और इलाज के लिए फलाना हॉस्पिटल ले जाए, एक बोर्ड बने, उसमें डॉक्टर हो, डॉक्टर तजवीज़ करे इलाज और डॉक्टरों के मुताबिक आगे बढ़े। दैट्स ऑल।
बहुत शुक्रिया सर। ये बताइएगा कि जो हुकूमत के खिलाफ पीटीआई की तरफ से दायर करदा जो तौहीन अदालत है उसका क्या स्टेटस है सर इस वक्त?
देखो, हमने एक पिटीशन फाइल कर दी थी सैटरडे वाले दिन और हम अदालत से यही दरख्वास्त कर रहे हैं कि 18 तारीख को जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर किया था और इसमें खान साहब को शिफा इंटरनेशनल हॉस्पिटल शिफ्ट होना था, उसमें एक बोर्ड बनना था मेडिकल जिसमें खान साहब की बहन और खान साहब के ज़ाती मुआलिज शामिल होना था। वो चूँकि लेटर इन स्पिरिट में इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ, उस हॉस्पिटल में नहीं ले जाया गया और वो टेस्ट नहीं हुए जिसका सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर किया, लिहाजा हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट से इस्तदा की है कि इस ऑर्डर को इम्प्लीमेंट करो। उस ऑर्डर की इम्प्लीमेंटेशन अभी बाकी है, लेकिन जो एप्लीकेशन हमने फ़ाइल की है उस पर पहले ऑब्जेक्शन लगा हुआ था, ऑब्जेक्शन के बाद हमने उसको रीफाइल कर दिया और अब उसको नंबर अलॉट हुआ है। हमें उम्मीद है इंशाअल्लाह ताला कि जुमेरात को या जितनी भी जल्द हो सके सुप्रीम कोर्ट इंशाअल्लाह उसकी समाअत करे।
मतलब आप क्या समझते हैं कब तक, अगले हफ्ते तक ये जा सकती है?
देखो, हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट से रिक्वेस्ट की है, उस पर एक नोट ज़रूर पुटअप हुआ होगा और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये कहा है कि जितनी जल्द समाअत हो सकती हो हम करेंगे और बेंच की अवेलेबिलिटी भी देखेंगे और बेंच की अवेलेबिलिटी को देख करके इंशाल्लाह वो जल्द फैसला करेंगे।
सर ये बताइएगा, आज आपने जो तौहीन अदालत डाली थी उसके ऊपर एतराज़ात लगे, फिर वो तौहीन अदालत दोबारा आप लोगों ने फाइल कर दी और उसको डायरी नंबर भी अलॉट कर दिया गया है। अब कल जो है वो परसों पीटीआई ने कहा है जुमेरात वाले दिन फिर आईएलएफ के वकला जाएंगे सुप्रीम कोर्ट के बाहर, फिर कोई धरना होगा या वो जो आप लोग अलामती प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं वो होगा?
नहीं, देखो, धरना भी नहीं, अलामती प्रोटेस्ट भी नहीं। हमने ये कहा था कि इसको नंबर अलॉट करके इस पे नोट पुटअप कर दिए, नंबर अलॉट हो गया, नोट पुटअप हुआ होगा। अभी चीफ जस्टिस साहब को रूटीन में यही होता है कि दफ्तर नंबर अलॉट करता है, रजिस्ट्रार साहब एक नोट पुट करता है, चीफ जस्टिस को बताता है कि इसमें अर्जेंसी क्या है। हमने कहा है कि ये हेल्थ रिलेटेड मैटर है और उसके हेल्थ को शदीद ख़तरात लाहिक है और डॉक्टर का होना, डॉक्टर का टेस्ट इंटरव्यू वगैरह होना बड़ा ज़रूरी है। लिहाजा सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है कि हम उसकी हेयरिंग करेंगे। अगर थर्सडे को बेंच अवेलेबल हुआ, जो हमने रिक्वेस्ट की है, क्योंकि जज साहिबान पाकिस्तान में मौजूद है और अगर वो पाकिस्तान में है तो जूम से भी हेयरिंग हो सकती है, एक मीटिंग कॉल की जा सकती है। लिहाजा थर्सडे को मीटिंग हो जाएगी, नहीं है तो शायद जुमे को हो जाए।
सर ये बताइएगा, जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान का फैसला था उसके ऊपर हुकूमत ने मनो अमल क्यों नहीं किया, क्या वजूहात उन्होंने पेश की हैं?
देखो, हमें तो कुछ नहीं बताया गया कि क्या वजूहात है, लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर पे मन ऑन लेटर इन स्पिरिट अमल होना चाहिए था, हॉस्पिटल में शिफ्ट होना चाहिए था। वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर में कोई अभाम नहीं था। अगर अभाम होता तो रिव्यू फाइल की जा सकती थी, उसमें कोई अभाम नहीं था। मैटर बड़ा सिंपल था, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने लिखा था, हुकूमत ने रिव्यू फाइल भी किया, फिर वापस ले लिया, फिर उसको ऑर्डर इम्प्लीमेंट करने की तरफ बढ़े भी, लेकिन ऑल ऑफ अ सडन मिडवे जो है वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हो सका, जो बड़ा अनफॉर्चुनेट।
सर इस वक्त जो है पाकिस्तान तहरीक इंसाफ की जो लॉयर्स की टीम है उसके ऊपर पूरे पाकिस्तान की नज़रें, आने वाले दिनों में आप क्या समझते हैं, जो आपके चाहने वाले हैं या जो पाकिस्तान में इमरान खान साहब के चाहने वाले हैं, उनको क्या तवक्को करनी चाहिए कि खान साहब जो है दोबारा शिफा इंटरनेशनल जाएंगे?
देखिए, हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं, कानून के मुताबिक, इनके मुताबिक हम जा रहे हैं, हर फोरम में गए हैं। हम 25 मरतबा सुप्रीम हाई कोर्ट चले गए और अभी आज के जिस वक्त मैं गया मैंने बोला भी है तो 19 मरतबा हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए और एवरी टाइम जब हम जाते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट को तो हम उनको ये कह रहे हैं कि आइन कानून के मुताबिक ये हमारा राइट है, एसओपी के मुताबिक हमारा राइट है। हम कोई गुरेला फोर्स तो नहीं है कि बाहर निकल के आए, आओ जी खान साहब को उठाएं और हॉस्पिटल चले जाएं, बल्कि हम कहते हैं नहीं, अदालत ऑर्डर करे और अदालत का जो प्रोसीजर है वो ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ फॉलो हो और इस तरीके से हम आगे बढ़े। तो वकला से जो लोगों की तवक्कुआत बजा है और वकला अपना काम कर रहे हैं, एप्लीकेशनें फाइल की हुई हैं, अब ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे मुनसर है और मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट से इस्तदा करूँगा कि ये आपकी ऑर्डर की इम्प्लीमेंटेशन बड़ा ज़रूरी है। आज़ाद अदलिया का होना बड़ा ज़रूरी है। लेकिन जो भी अदलिया इस वक्त मौजूद है अपना ऑर्डर इम्प्लीमेंट करना सुप्रीम कोर्ट की आईनी जिम्मेदारी है। मुझे उम्मीद है सुप्रीम कोर्ट इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करवाएगी इंशाल्लाह।
ये आप समझते हैं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो है वो जो उन्होंने ऑर्डर दिया था और आपको उसके ऊपर कोई एतराज तो नहीं है, या आपको कोई अभी कोई सवाल हो या सुप्रीम कोर्ट के हवाले से जजेस?
नहीं, हम ये कहते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो आपने ऑर्डर किया उस ऑर्डर को इम्प्लीमेंट करो। ऑर्डर सिंपल है, खान साहब को हॉस्पिटल ले जाए, उसके टेस्ट और इलाज के लिए फलाना हॉस्पिटल ले जाए, एक बोर्ड बने, उसमें डॉक्टर हो, डॉक्टर तजवीज़ करे इलाज और डॉक्टरों के मुताबिक आगे बढ़े। दैट्स ऑल।
बहुत शुक्रिया।
And viewers, let's move ahead. We're getting more updates coming in. A big political row has erupted over slogans raised during a Congress protest in Nanded. In fact, this has happened in Maharashtra. Party workers were heard raising Sanatan Dharma Murdabad slogans during an agitation in Nanded. This happened on August 14th, according to the latest update that we're getting for our viewers. The protest was led by the Congress MP Ravindra Chavan, who was held in response to the cleansing of the Ram Leela Maidan in Halwani, Uttarakhand with cow urine after a meeting by Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. The video of the sloganeering went viral on social media, after which Hindu organizations and the BJP leaders targeted the Congress and demanded action. Police have now registered a case against the Congress workers involved at Shivaji Nagar police station in Nanded. The MP was also present at the spot when the slogans were raised. Investigation is underway. So those are the visuals coming in from Maharashtra, particularly after the big political row has erupted over slogans raised during a Congress protest in Nanded, Maharashtra. Party workers were heard raising Sanatan Dharma Murdabad slogans during an agitation. We're getting some more updates coming in on Republic TV. Let's move ahead to the big breaking news. A constable has been suspended for allegedly giving VIP treatment to an under trial in Mandya. Now, the under trial, Mohammed Hussain, lodged in Mandya District Prison, was admitted to MIS hospital without serious illness and without court permission. While in the hospital ward, he was allegedly allowed to meet his girlfriend. So we understand that the matter came to light during a surprise inspection by the Karnataka State Legal Services Authority. The constable Chandan of the Mandya District Armed Reserve, who was on duty, allegedly facilitated the meeting. Following this, the DGP Prisons, Alok Kumar, inspected every barrack of Mandya District Prison and also visited the MIS hospital, questioning jail officials and staff. Constable Chandan has been suspended for not doing his duty properly, and the DGP has sought a detailed report from the prison superintendent and the MIS hospital superintendent by August 27th. All right, so this is a VIP treatment row. The constable has been suspended in this matter. We'll try to go across to our colleague in a short while from now, but a constable has been suspended for allegedly giving VIP treatment to an under trial in Mandya. The under trial, Mohammed Hussain, was lodged in the Mandya District Prison, was admitted to the hospital without any serious illness and without any court permission. And while in the hospital ward, he was allegedly allowed to meet his girlfriend. The matter came to light during a surprise inspection by the Karnataka State Legal Services Authority. The constable Chandan of the Mandya District Armed Reserve was on duty, allegedly facilitated this entire VIP treatment that we are reporting on and that you can see very clearly on your screen. And following this, the DGP Prisons, Alok Kumar, has inspected every area of the district prison there and also visited the hospital, questioning jail officials and staff. Constable Chandan has been suspended for dereliction of duty. Okay, let's go straight across to my colleague who's joining us. Yes, Abhishek is joining us live. Abhishek, what really happened there? You know, we have been reporting continuously that VIP treatment is being seen in a lot of prisons there in Karnataka. This is the latest incident that is coming in. Yes, Abhishek.
Well, the name of the accused is Mohammed Hussain, who was under the Lokayukta trap, and he had been arrested by the police, who was currently undergoing the punishment in Mandya jail. And after which there was some basic illness which he in the last couple of days experienced. He was transferred to the MIS hospital even without taking into consideration the notice from the court. The notice, there wasn't any permission sought from the court, there wasn't any permission sought from the jail officials, but but it was Chandan, a constable, who took him to one of the hospitals there. And in that very particular hospital, a private setup was done to the benefitment of Muhammad Hussain, where he was found with his girlfriend while the raid was placed on that particular hospital. The hospital staff have been questioned, the constable has been questioned, the jail officials have been questioned as to why this kind of VVIP treatment is given to an accused in this very particular case. And the fact is that the VVIP facility was not only extended within the jail but also in the hospital premises, which kind of law allows a person who is accused in the Lokayukta case gets time to spend with his girlfriend is the question which has been laid down at this point of time, and there is no answer from any of the persons who were supposed to answer to this particular question as of now. But Alok Kumar, the DGP of prisons, particular accused has gone out from the jail even without seeking the permission of the jail officials and also the court. So we will have to see what unfolds in the next couple of days. Shivangi.
Well, thank you for getting us all those details. Abhishek, I'll be coming back to you for more as we track this developing story coming in. And let's move ahead, viewers. We're getting some more updates in a major crackdown on alleged religious conversion rackets. Raids have been conducted in Delhi, Palghar and Jaipur after visuals emerged of conversion bids. In Delhi, a church was razed mid-attempt with the pastor fleeing through the back door, while locals reportedly stopped the conversion of 4 out of 7 people. In an Adivasi area of Palghar, a group of 22 women were caught distributing Bibles during a drive. Meanwhile, in Jaipur, Pastor Ravi Mohan is under the ED scanner for allegedly receiving over 2 crore from US-based donor. We'll tell our viewers all about this. Take a look at this report.
ये क्या है? ये पानी में क्या चल रहा है? आप देखिए कि इन लोगों को पानी में डुबाया गया है.
In Delhi, a church is raided in the middle of an alleged religious conversion bid.
संस्कृति को खराब करने का धंधा खोल लिया धर्मांतरण का यहाँ पे.
Visuals Republic accessed matches these allegations.
विदेशी चंदे के पैसे से जीने वाले लोगों ने ये एक संस्था बना रखी है.
The pastor fled the church through the back door, while locals reportedly stopped the conversion of 4 out of 7 people.
ये जो है संस्कृति को खराब करने वाली बातें हैं और कुछ नहीं है. छोटा लालच संस्कृति को खराब करने का धंधा खोल लिया धर्मांतरण का यहाँ पे. इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं है यहाँ पे. एक बना दिया विदेशी प्रोपेगेंडा से जीने वाले लोगों ने, विदेशी चंदे के पैसे से जीने वाले लोगों ने ये एक संस्था बना रखी है खाने कमाने की. इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं है. हम अपनी बहनों को यहाँ पे बचाने आए, धर्मांतरण से भाइयों को बचाने आए.
An even more sinister incident emerged from an Adivasi area in Palghar. A group of 22 women caught red-handed during a proselytization drive distributing copies of the Bible. Take a look at this sequence.
गांव में ऐसा कोई यीशु को मानने वाला नहीं है. आपने हर घर में जाके दिया है. इसको पढ़ो, हमारे साथ जुड़ो, आपका भला करे.
A repeat of the Timothy initiative in Jaipur. The man in the photo is Pastor Ravi Mohan. He is now under ED scanner for receiving funds that bypassed FCRA. Over 2 crore rupees pumped in from the US-based donor Thomas Eugene Lynch, founder and president of the South Carolina non-profit Give Back to Humanity Inc. Republic, in fact, accessed the paper trail. American dollars sent to India without FCRA registration and used for other than declared purpose. The foreign funding trail to directly target Dalit and tribal communities.
What we are seeing is a disturbing trail of how American money is being pumped into the country and used for conversion rackets. In fact, in Delhi, we are seeing a church being raided for carrying out conversion rackets. In Jaipur, another man who has been receiving donations in crores and used for proselytization in the area. Now, this, in fact, raises the alarm over concerns of how the vulnerable communities are being targeted for such conversion rackets.
And taking a short break, viewers, do not go anywhere. Big Operation Sindoor revelation. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, prime nuclear hub in Pakistan. Stay tuned.
wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip, I'm losing control. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
ايش عملتي يا حبيبتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
Welcome back, viewers. We are live and breaking, but right now we have the biggest story coming in from the world of business, economy and finance. For that, I have to go across to my colleague who's joining us live, Rishita. Yes, Rishita, over to you.
Thank you so much, Shivangi. Now, we have a big update coming in Air India. Air India is back in the headlines, and this time it's over money. The airline has asked its owners, Tata Sun and Singapore Airlines, for roughly $1.5 billion in fresh equity. Now, the request comes just months after Air India posted its worst ever annual loss. Now, this is among the largest shareholder funding that asks Air India has made public since Tata took over the state carrier back in 2022, and it's a stark marker of how tough the airline's turnaround really is, specifically as it pushes through a multi-billion-dollar overhaul, which includes refurbishing its aging fleet. Now, the numbers tell this story. Air India and its budget arm Air India Express together lost $2.33 billion in the fiscal year that ended in March. Now, this is more than double the previous year's losses. So those losses have even dented Singapore Airlines' own profit sheet. Now, according to a Reuters report, the fresh funds will come in as equity infusion. The timing, viewers, is also very loaded. This request lands just as Tata Sons chairman N. Chandrasekaran prepares to step down in February, following friction with the group's controlling charitable trust, friction that in part traces back to Air India's mounting losses as well. And the cost-cutting push doesn't stop there. Air India has also asked Airbus and Boeing to defer deliveries of hundreds of aircraft on order, as Tata leans harder on the airline to rein in losses. We'll be tracking this story very closely and keep you posted on all updates. Back to you, Shivangi.
Well, thank you, Rishita, for getting us all those details from the world of business, economy and finance. I'll be coming back to our business team for more. And viewers, we will be getting up, viewers, all the biggest updates coming in, taking a short break. Do not go anywhere. Republic exposes foreign-based conversion racket, and the big question is there an urgent need to bring the FCRA bill to stop foreign religious funding? Stay tuned.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions, and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level. The numbers tell a brutal story. Since the war began, rice prices have reportedly risen by around 60%. Beef prices are more than 150% higher. And the International Monetary Fund is forecasting that Iran's economy could shrink by more than 5%. Imagine what
Very warm welcome, viewers. You're watching Republic TV. This is Shivam Dutt Mehta. Join us as we celebrate a voice that has given Indian music some of its most unforgettable moments. From soulful melodies to high-energy anthems, Shankar Mahadevan has consistently pushed the boundaries of Indian music while staying rooted in its soul. A singer, composer, and performer whose voice can move from classical brilliance to contemporary magic. Shankar Mahadevan has created music that generations continue to connect with. And now we celebrate the legend, the voice, and the incredible journey of Shankar Mahadevan. Catch the special tribute only on Republic TV. Now let's shift our focus and get you all the top headlines of the hour. Big Republic expose on Pan-India conversion network. Proselytization drive and secret conversions caught red-handed on camera. Republic exposes foreign-based conversion racket, and the big question is there an urgent need to bring the FCRA bill to stop foreign religious conversion, foreign funding. On Republic, videos of how those vulnerable are brainwashed and forced to convert, reports from Rajasthan, Delhi, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh.
We had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha, and Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha. And it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit, one of those hills.
Big Op Sindoor revelations. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills. A prime nuclear hub in Pakistan struck.
Couple of principles which we thought in this escalation matrix, which laid for ourselves, was that the last strike or the winning note will be always delivered by us and not by the Pakistanis.
Former CDS General Anil Chauhan says last strike or winning note will only be delivered by India and not Pakistan. Imran Khan's closest aide speaks exclusively to Republic, reveals the inside story of what is happening inside Pakistan's Adiala jail. Republic exclusive. All right, viewers, let's begin this bulletin with a big breaking news development that is coming in from Pakistan. A sad story involves children where at least Earlier there were 14 infants, and now we're getting to know that there are 15 infants now who have been killed in Pakistan, in Islamabad, after a fire broke out in the children's ward at the PIMS hospital. Now, according to hospital sources and local media, the blaze was triggered by a fault in the air conditioning system. According to reports, an AC compressor exploded in the nursery. There were 16 newborn babies in the nursery at the time of the incident, and only one could be saved. Firefighters have extinguished the blaze and are carrying out cooling operations. But a very sad story coming in from Islamabad, where exclusive story on your television screen, exclusive from Pakistan, where 15 infants died. 15 infants died because of a blast in an AC compressor, and it happened in Pakistan. It happened in Islamabad, that too in a very big hospital, that is PIMS hospital. And these are exclusive visuals of the cooling operations also of the fire tenders which reached that location in Islamabad. But 14 initially, and now 15 confirmed. One has been rescued after fire broke out at PIMS hospital.
बहुत लेट टीम्स पहुंची हैं, कुछ यहाँ पर हमला कोई भी नहीं है. सारे फायर ब्रिगेड बहुत 2 घंटे बाद आए हैं. नर्सरी में बच्चे जल गए हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा हमारे बिल्कुल सामने था सारा. हम तो बच्चों को लेके भागे हैं, कुछ समझ ही नहीं आ रही थी. आधा सामान हमारा अंदर ही रह गया. बस बहुत बुरा हाल था.
All right, viewers, let's move on to another top story that we are tracking. It is the big revelation which has been made by former CDS Anil Chauhan on the inside details of Operation Sindoor, and speaking at the Vimarsh event on Operation Sindoor and its aftermath at the Vivekanand International Foundation. Chauhan made astonishing revelations and said that Indian loitering munitions were sent to search for radars around Sargodha. Chauhan shared key insights into Operation Sindoor, India's military strategy, and the decisions that shaped the operation, from revealing what Prime Minister Narendra Modi told the CDS before the operation to explaining its 3 phases. Now, India's preparedness and exit strategy. Now, John details why India gained the upper hand. He also discusses Pakistan's response, its difficulties in assessing the strikes. It's always difficult for Pakistan, and the key lessons it may have drawn from Operation Sindoor. All right, so the graphics are on your screen to explain what exactly happened. India did hit Kirana Hills, and the visible crater on Kirana Hills are visible, and images analyzed by global intel experts confirm the same. And there were various videos also on the internet, local videos also that confirm the same. And images were analyzed by the global intel experts, and visuals also on your screen, the map also on your screen, the detailed graphics also on your screen. Let's go to the reaction of the former CDS.
There was a small episode about what I think Air Marshal Bharti was asked, that Kirana Hills episode. I think I'll clarify this. At occasions he's been asked whether Kirana Hills were hit or not. That's where their nuclear facilities are there. And with Bharti had rightly clarified that we did not target Kirana Hills. I can maybe given kind of an explanation. Before those strikes, we had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha. And Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha. And it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit one of those hills. So that could be one of the reasons as to what people asked. Yes, because Pakistani media also showed some kind of images in which there was smoke coming out from Kirana Hills, and they were asking. Next is a new normal. You heard about this new normal, which the Prime Minister has said that, there'll be talks and terror will not go together, blood and water will not flow together, will not tolerate cross-border terrorism, and will make no distinction between perpetrators and their handlers, and then will not be blackmailed or by nuclear blackmail.
All right, we are also in a big revelation in Operation Sindoor, and this time a former Chief of Defence Staff has confirmed what Pakistan had denied for months. Now, General Anil Chauhan revealed that Indian loitering munitions targeting radars around Sargodha ended up striking Pakistan's Kirana Hills after loitering for hours without finding a target. Now, but that's not all. Chauhan has also revealed how India had cleared an attack on Skardu before bad weather forced a change in plans.
A big revelation in Operation Sindoor.
अटैक हुआ है नूर खान बेस पे.
Former Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan confirms that India struck Kirana Hills during Operation Sindoor. Speaking at Vimarsh, the former CDS said Indian loitering munitions were sent to search for radars around Sargodha. And there, after running out of fuel, they ended up striking Kirana Hills. Ending months of speculation, former CDS General Chauhan said the forces had sent a large number of loitering munitions towards Sargodha and Kirana Hills. And when they failed to find a target for 2 hours, they ended up striking one of the Kirana Hills.
Before those strikes, we had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha. And Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha. And it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit, one of those hills.
Videos from the time of the attack also show Pakistanis themselves acknowledging the strike on Kirana Hills.
किराना पहाड़ी से सुबह अटैक हो गया, मजार अटैक होया और दूसरा एक और अटैक हो गया, मुसलसल अटैक हो रहे किराना पहाड़ी से.
But Pakistan has denied the attack all this while. Now, with former CDS General Chauhan confirming the strikes, it marks a significant revelation for India. But why does Kirana Hills matter? Kirana Hills are believed to house a strategic nuclear facility in Pakistan. Kirana Hills are said to contain underground caves used to store nuclear components. The location of Kirana Hills is also highly strategic, just 170 kilometers from the Indian border. The former CDS also confirmed that the Indian Air Force had been cleared to strike Skardu in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. But the mission was scrubbed due to bad weather. The target was later shifted to Bolari, which went on to become one of the most striking visuals of Operation Sindoor. The attack on Skardu was planned even after Pakistan agreed to talks. And despite the talks being underway, the green light had been given for the strike.
Once the Pakistanis had picked up the phone and they said they wanted to talk at about 10, the air chief had asked me that whether he should strike Sargodha. I said, go ahead. And then he also, I said, please identify 2 more targets. So he had, one of the targets he identified was Sukardu. But unfortunately, we gave a yes, but no, after some time the weather was bad over Sukardu. But they had to change over to Bulhari. Now from Sukardu to Bulhari, which is near Karachi.
From Kirana Hills to Skardu, the latest revelations offer a closer look at the targeting, tactics and decisions that shaped Operation Sindoor and puts fresh focus on the scale of India's military response.
Renowned military historian Tom Cooper, in discussion with Republic's executive editor of news Niranjan Narayanaswamy, analyzes a former Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan's revelations on Operation Sindoor and the Kirana Hills strikes, dismissing official denials and explanations involving stray loitering munitions or accidental UAV paths. Cooper points to video evidence of multiple missile contrails striking the entrance of underground storage tunnels and the local radar station. He underscores the tactical and strategic weight of the operation. Kirana Hills' historical links to subcritical nuclear testing, ballistic missile garrisons and proximity to Sargodha Air Base, arguing that India's precision strike, effectively called Pakistan's nuclear bluff, prompted immediate frantic diplomatic outreach by Islamabad to Washington and New Delhi and highlighted broader shifts India's advancing domestic defense defense production and adaptability versus Pakistan's reliance on external support and unheeded nuclear signaling.
So on the big revelation by the former Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, I have with us on the broadcast on Republic, Tom Cooper, one of the world's most renowned military historians, a leading voice who was live on Republic through Operation Sindoor as well. Tom, I remember speaking to you about the Kirana Hills and what happened at the Kirana Hills, the deniability, the confirmations, the videos that came in. Today what India has done is, add another layer of confirmation that something hit Kirana and perhaps it was an Indian loitering munition.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Nice to be with you. Well, yes, there is a kind of an explanation now by retired Chief of Defence Staff that it might have been one or another of loitering ammunition or UAVs or whatever. I'm not entirely convinced of this because the video released by Pakistani social media is, crystal clear about showing two missiles, two contrails actually of missiles coming down and hitting directly, as it turned out, directly above the two of entrances to underground facilities to Kirana Hills. So there is also another question. If you check, India or New Delhi was right from the start of this Operation Sindoor making it clear we are striking just the terror camps. This is a retaliation strike. We don't want any kind of escalation. We are striking the terror camps. Pakistan didn't listen. Didn't listen on the 7th, on the 8th, on the 9th of May. And on the contrary, it was escalating all the time. In the early hours of 10th of May, it was already shooting ballistic missiles at India. And then at some point in time, I think it was 6 o'clock in the morning, India strikes Kirana Hills. There is smoke rising from the local radar station, and then these two hits above the entrances to the underground facilities. And all of a sudden, Pakistan is on telephone to Washington and then on telephone to New Delhi. So, and to make sure, Kirana Hills was once a nuclear facility, but subsequently Pakistan is told to New Delhi, because the two countries have this agreement according to which they have to declare their nuclear facilities to the other side. So Pakistan said to India, no, this is no nuclear facility anymore. But now all of a sudden they were in a big rush for a ceasefire and so on and so on. So sorry, it's not adding up. It's not adding up in terms of military operations and what we have got to see on the video, and it's not adding up in regards of what we have got to see in terms of Pakistani reaction to this strike. Because Pakistan was all of a sudden in a rush to end the conflict, which it was all the time escalating at that point in time. So therefore, by all respect, for honorable retired Chief of Defence Staff and everybody else at the top in India, sorry, it's not adding up.
Okay, you're right in one aspect. There was in that video, and that video you're referring to, there is a missile's trail and it just rams in, right? It seems like
it is coming down from high altitude.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. Now, if assuming right that this is a missile that hit Kirana Hills, I want you to tell our viewers why the strike on Kirana Hills itself was significant from the Indian perspective and for the Pakistanis.
That is the only thing that is making sense, actually. Pakistan is escalating all the time. India says we don't. India. Government of India, Armed Forces of India, on daily briefings, they all the time say we don't want to escalate, but Pakistan is escalating all the time. Means Pakistan or the leadership in Islamabad is not listening to what India says. So on the contrary, even after all these airstrikes, or early on 10th of May, Indian airstrikes, which have hit so many Pakistani air bases, radar stations, air defense positions, knocked them out. Even after that, Pakistan was still trying to hit at India. So what do you do in such a situation? You hit something where you are sure they cannot hit you back because you are shooting down everything coming your way. You hit something that means that it makes a clear signal: if you want, you can escalate. and you can dangerously escalate, and they still have no ability to hit you, to hit back on you. This is the way I understand the operation against Kirana Hill. So from my point of view, when you ask me what is the opinion, what is the meaning of this operation, it was the meaning was stop right now, because we can do things of this kind and you can't retaliate. Making it crystal clear.
Some things you do admit in public and some things you don't. Because I remember Air Marshal Bharti, when he was asked this question, he said, you know, I don't know what was there, but we didn't hit Kirana. And there was a little bit of a deniability. Of course, that line was kept that way. But, you know, the fact that we've opened up that option now without giving the full details also tells you that, you know, we are not holding back. And our Prime Minister had said, and I remember him saying clearly that the nuclear bluff had been called this time by India. I mean, the Indian Prime Minister has said it, and it's on record. Now, I want you to tell our viewers, many of them don't know what is at Kirana Hills. Why is Kirana Hills this significant? There is also this theory of how there are some Americans who control the nuclear facilities / nukes at Kirana Hills. As a military historian, what can you tell us about why this is? What is at Kirana Hills?
Came into being as a major ammunition depot for Sargodha Air Base. Nowadays, Mushaf Air Base, if I'm not wrong. So it came into being as a, well, they have constructed ever more and more hardened aircraft shelters, you can call them. They look like hardened aircraft shelters, but are housing ammunition, not aircraft. And there are dozens and dozens of them. Then they've constructed a depot for repair of specific heavy equipment. Then they have, in the 1980s, they have constructed, they have dug lots of tunnels into the Kirana Hills and run subcritical testing of their future nuclear weapons at Kirana Hills. And then all of a sudden Islamabad said, oh, this is no nuclear facility anymore, this is just, you know, ammunition storage, but you can even, as a civilian, you can go there and have a picnic and so on and so on. But which sounds perfect if you ignore the fact that there are still dozens of bunkers and shelters and underground tunnels where they are still storing ammunition. And if you ignore the fact that they still have ballistic missiles based at Kirana Hills as well. So it's a missile garrison as well.
All right, it's time to slip into a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere. Coming up next, Imran Khan's closest aide speaks exclusively to Republic, reveals the inside story of what is happening inside Pakistan's Adiala jail.